for them, but actually take a positive action to make sure that the families are not ruined because of these activities. With those few remarks, Mr. Speaker, I say thank you, and I still condole with the entire nation and the fallen soldiers, especially our people of Morale are mourning. Thank you, sir.
Moses Serma.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me this opportunity to condole with the families of our late soldiers who just passed. Our General Ogolla, being a great man and a great soldier in this country, and the others. I want to include Colonel Keitany, who hails from my constituency, Mr. Speaker, that these are young people who are doing a good service to Kenyans. Mr. Speaker, accidents involving government aircrafts has a very bad history, Mr. Speaker. I do remember Mudi Awori landed on Mombasa Road using a government chopper because of faultiness. I was with the security committee at one time, Mr. Speaker. We boarded a police chopper and it landed us from Kisumu. We landed in Ahero. And that was the end of the story. Many people have gotten in this problem because of poor maintenance. Naomi Wako is a widow, courtesy of an aircraft of the military. Chelanga died in Marsabit because of a faulty aircraft. Mr. Speaker, I want to really ask the government. I want to ask the government to really wipe out, because if it was not because of banditry, which we have been crying as the people of Baringo for a long time, Ogolla would still be alive. He went because of
Time is up. Kikaria, you've made your point.
Nashukuru sana Mheshimiwa Spika kwa kunipatia nafasi hii. Ninatoa rambirambi kwa wanajeshi wetu wale walipata ajali na kufariki walipokuwa katika kazi zao. Lakini Mheshimiwa Spika, nichukue nafasi hii kutoa rambirambi kwa familia ya kijana mmoja kutoka Nakuru County, mahali baba yake anaishi na mahali amekuwa akitumikia kwa muda mrefu. Kijana huyu ni Captain Hilary Litali, ambaye walikuwa wanakaa katika sehemu ya Nakuru West, mahali kunaitwa Shabab. Na Mheshimiwa Spika, kijana huyu alikuwa ni kijana mdogo sana, miaka 29, kijana ambaye alikuwa anaenda kupewa madaraka ya kuwa meja kwa kazi nzuri ambaye amekuwa akifanya. Na huyu kijana ndio kijana wa kwanza katika familia changa ambaye inatoka maeneo haya. Lakini kitu cha muhimu, Mheshimiwa Spika, ni kuweka tahadhari kama sheria zetu zilivyo. Watu wa social media, mambo ya kutangaza vifo kabla haijafikia familia kupitia njia nzuri, nafikiria ni kitu ambaye tulikuwa tumepitisha sheria, na katika social media ambaye watu wengi wanaanza kupitisha ujumbe, familia inapata ujumbe kabla ile official kutoka katika zile sehemu inafaa kutoka, ni kitu cha muhimu. Ya mwisho ni makadirio ya mambo ya bajeti ya operations. Mimi niko katika kamati ya environment, na unakuta treasury wanakata pesa ya operations ya ile kugharamia marekebisho ya ndege kama ile helikopter iko katika KFS. Ni muhimu tuangalie treasury wawache kupunguza pesa za operations za maintenance katika
Roida.
Asante Bwana Spika kunipatia nafasi nami nitoe rambirambi zangu na mimi na familia yangu na watu wangu wa Lamu Mashariki, kwa familia ya General Ogolla na kwa familia ya undugu ya wanaanga ikiwa General Ogolla yeye mwenyewe alikuwa rubani. Kwa familia yote ya aviation fraternity natoa rambirambi. Pia nichukue nafasi hii Bwana Spika, nitoe rambirambi kwa wale wote waliofariki, KDF waliofariki kupitia njia wakiwa kwenye kazi kuchunga nchi yetu. Bwana Spika, Lamu Mashariki sisi tuna kitu kikipata KDF sisi inatuuma zaidi. Lamu Mashariki ndio eneo bunge peke yake walimu kupelekwa shule lazima wabebwe na KDF. Boni Forest yote lazima shule za kule zibebwe na KDF. Bwana Spika, nilibahatika nikawa na General Ogolla kwa ofisi yake tarehe 11 mwezi huu kabla ya mauti yake. Kwa hakika alikuwa na ari ya kuhakikisha nchi imepata amani. Bwana Spika, yeye mwenyewe mimi sikushtuka nikiambiwa kwa nini yeye mwenyewe General ameenda kutembelea hizo shule, kwa sababu yale aloniambia pale, aliniambia yeye mwenyewe atakuja Lamu Mashariki ili atembelee sehemu za Boni na sehemu zingine. Kwa hivyo Mwenyezi Mungu awape familia subra na awasaidie pale kwenye pengo. Asante.
Osoro.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I also want to join my colleagues in condoling with the families of the departed soldiers, and particularly General Ogolla, Honorable Speaker. But two things, Honorable Speaker, that I will say that we've learned from the entire event or this occasion that has befallen our country, Honorable Speaker. Number one, the best way we can be able to mourn the death of our departed heroes is to restore security in those areas, especially those bandit-prone areas, Honorable Speaker. Number two, lessons to learn because I really got involved with the whole process of seeing General Ogolla off. Number two thing that we learn is that family is an integral part of our body, of our lives, and of our growth. And for those that have got young families, it's very important for us to raise our kids in the right manner. That is what we learned even from the barrier of General Ogolla. And finally, Honorable Speaker, it's also important for us as politicians to learn not to mourn more than the bereaved sometimes. It's unfortunate that sometimes we allow politics to take center stage. Even when families are mourning, families are crying, we invoke antagonistic politics and try to gain political capital, even when it's unnecessary. And even as we now have the opportunity to mourn in this floor, Honorable Speaker, it's unfortunate that even from the place General Ogolla reigned from, that is the Luo nation, very few leaders attended his burial. But they are here today mourning more than everybody else and complaining more than everybody else. It's unfortunate, and we need to appreciate when our sons grow from our areas, when our sons are...
Chairman, Security Committee.
Defense, Honorable Speaker.
Defense, sorry.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Let me also take this opportunity to condole with the family of retired General, the family of General Ogolla, the deceased General Ogolla, and the other 9 officers who perished that fateful day with him in pursuit of peace in the north part of our country, North Rift. I have interacted severally with General Ogolla, Honorable Speaker, and this is one very consummate professional. I interacted with him as when I was in the Committee of Defense, just as a member, and even more as a chairman, and him being the general. It puts on focus what exactly our soldiers go through, Honorable Speaker, that General Ogolla laid his life so that this, in pursuit of peace within and without our borders. It is important to start scrutinizing and seeing what can be done so that our soldiers, the welfare of our soldiers, can be catered for. It is very unfortunate, Honorable Speaker, that this is the core of our security infrastructure, and we've lost a general.
It's something of concern, and as a committee, we will endeavor as much as possible to find out what really could have caused this. But nonetheless, I've heard from honorable colleagues the plea that we should look also on the funding of the infrastructure in our military. It's important, Honorable Speaker, and I'm sure honorable colleagues have interacted with the budget of defense, and you look at the modernization program. It is important that our military are fully and well equipped and kitted for them to do their duties within and outside our borders. Nonetheless, I want to say sincere condolences and to urge the members, especially leaders.
Member for Migori.
Nakushukuru Bwana Spika kwa kunipa nafasi hii. Sisi kama Waislamu kawaida tumejitayarisha kufa. Tunajua kufa ni haki, na ni haki ambayo mtu hawezi akachelewesha wala akabadilisha. Lakini tuna huzuni kama watu wa kutoka Nyanza. Huyo alikuwa kijana wetu na tulipeana kwa nchi, na amekufa na tumekubali amekufa. Ila nashangaa, manake kila mtu anapoongea hapa analaumu ndege ya kuwa ilikuwa na itilafu. Mumejuaje ndege hili lilikuwa na itilafu? Mimi nauliza kama Mkenya, na naomba muwe na utulivu, kwa sababu tunachangia kitu cha maana sana, ni kifo cha mtu ambaye ni wa maana sana, na tunahuzunika. Lakini tunaomba mupatie wao wanaofanya uchunguzi nafasi nzuri wa kutuambia nini iliua jenerali. Kama mnajua ndege ilikuwa na itilafu, basi mchukueni lawama, kwa sababu inaonekana tayari mnajua nini kilitendeka. Zaidi, naomba serikali ipeane kwa wale familia, waambiwe pole, hasa kwa General Ogolla ambaye amelaumiwa kisiasa. Hatutakuwa tunafanya utani tukisema hapa tunamhurumia kifo chake na familia, na huku tunamlaumu kisiasa, ila hakukuwa mtu ambaye alikuwa anafanya siasa. Kama wana Kenya, tafadhali tupatie family nafasi ya kuomboleza, na Wakenya waliokuwa wanampenda waomboleze, na tuache serikali na wale ambao wanafanya uchunguzi wafanye uchunguzi, tupate kujua kina kile kilimuua. Kama ni accident, tujue ni accident aina gani, ilifanyikaje, kwa sababu gani, utilafu ulikuwa wapi. Lakini tusipeane suluhisho kabla hata tujajua nini kilifanyika. Nashukuru, naomba Mwenyezi Mungu.
Russell. After that, Majority Leader, then we close there.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I rise to pay tribute to General Ogolla and 9 other gallant officers and men and women who fell in that terrible air crash. Honorable Speaker, I know General Ogolla because we joined the KDF just around the same time, and our paths crossed as he grew up in the Kenya Air Force, and I was in the Kenya Army. He was a first-rate officer because he flew the jets that flies further than the speed of sound. But this time round, he didn't die in a jet, but he died in a helicopter that flies low and it flies slow. That is the fate that can befall us. But he leaves a legacy as a professional, a humble man, diligent, who had a focused approach to making defense and the defense of Kenya better. From Marsabit, we lost Mohamed Sora, a young man who just got promoted Tuesday last week. But as a pilot, he happens to be the only pilot flying in the Kenya Air Force from the community of the Boran. So that is what could happen in such a tragic thing. But finally, it is the issue of bandits, lawlessness, impunity, people who have taken over vast parts of this country.
Thank you, honorable members. I still see a lot of interest. I'll now reduce the time to 1 minute. Member for Kajiado South.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Speaker. I join my colleagues in mourning and consoling with the family of the Chief of Staff, Chief of General Ogolla, and other KDF soldiers who have lost their lives in line of duty. We remember General Ogolla as a professionalism in the line of professionalism and leadership, where he became a role model and he was able to lead and give away in the way the KDF should be done. In a special way, Mr. Speaker, allow me to wish the survivors of the crash. One of the survivors, sorry, was from my place, the Colonel Koruta Kasaini, and we wish him quick recovery. And as a constituency, we are proud of him, and we thank God for saving his life and giving him a second chance to serve the Republic of Kenya in KDF. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Wanjala. The late
thank you, Mr. Speaker. Budalangi is a neighboring constituency to Alego Songa. And Mr. Speaker, we in Budalangi and the people of Alego Songa and the Siaya, we were also celebrated to have a senior person in the government. Unfortunately, God loved him more than we loved him. He's gone, Mr. Speaker, but we wanted to be on record that in those areas, many of our gallant sons have died in mysterious ways. We lost Ouko, we have lost Ogolla, and we lost many others that died in such circumstances that cast us.
Ruku.
Honorable Speaker, thank you.
You have a minute, so you better deliver your message quickly.
I said I want to condole with the family and the people, all the families which lost members through the military air crash. Honorable Speaker, I happen to share a platform with General Ogolla in Burundi during the East Africa Special Summit, where he was a dedicated security expert in matters Eastern Congo. Honorable Speaker, at the same time, I want to condemn Omburu Odinga remarks during the burial of the late Ogolla for castigating the young man when his mourning is done. That was extremely bad and uncalled for. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Member for Gishugu.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Among the people or the soldiers who perished alongside the General Ogolla are Senior Sergeant John Kenywa Mureithi from Kirinyaga Central and Sergeant Rose Nyawera from Mwea. And I echo my colleagues in condoling all the families that lost their loved ones, and also wish the ones that survived quick recovery. And I urge all the leaders who come from the areas that these soldiers were on duty to sit down, bring their mind together, and come up with ways that they can end banditry and bring security in those areas. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Don Waluke.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I also want to take this chance to condole to the family of General Ogolla and 9 others who departed together with General Ogolla. I worked with General Ogolla, Honorable Speaker, together with Honorable Araso there. He was a good officer, and he really took care of military during this time of when he was in office before he departed. Honorable Speaker, I used to see him on the social media when he was going for morning run with junior soldiers, and that is to show that he really took care of that other soldiers, Honorable Speaker. So this day.
Suda. There you are.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me this opportunity. And I would like also to join in eulogizing the late CDF. And I want to say that there are many lessons learned truly, but there's no time. I want to say that in eulogizing the late Ogolla, cultural practices or diversity is upheld in the Constitution. And if given chance to mourn, I think we have not yet fully concluded in mourning General Ogolla. And when you see the region carrying on with mourning General Ogolla, know that it is constitutionally upheld in the Constitution. Number two, I want to say that this House must learn that when ad hoc committees or any committee of inquiry is formed to provide for a report, and I'm talking from the perspective of what the President said, that he is going to make sure that truth and nothing but the truth is given and provided.
Your time is up. Order, Bensouda. Your time is up. KJ.
Mr. Speaker, I thank you. I had the honor and privilege to meet General Ogolla and his family. And Mr. Speaker, what a fine gentleman and what a big loss for this country. And Mr. Speaker, it is the book that tells us that you shall know them by their fruits. Through the family, we were able to have a sneak preview of what kind of a gentleman, a person, and what demeanor General Ogolla was. But most importantly, General Ogolla was a teacher who is teaching us even in his death. Mr. Speaker, General Ogolla is telling us that we need to rethink our final rights as a country. We cannot have villages that spend more on funerals than they do on the education of their children. Mr. Speaker, the leadership that General Ogolla has presented is something to be emulated, Mr. Speaker, even in his death. Finally, Mr. Speaker, I just pray that God teach me to number my days so that...
Yes, Robert Mbui.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. As grandson of the first four-star general in Kenya, the late General Jackson Kimeu Mulenge, I also stand to condole with the families of the bereaved. And Mr. Speaker, General Ogolla is the first officer, or rather the first general to die in office. So of course there's going to be very many questions. You heard what the son said when there was the funeral. He said the father was physically fit, but somehow the father was also preparing them for his demise, which was, you know, those are the kind of questions that we need to have answered. So I think it's important that we hasten the investigations, and if possible, even this House also plays a role in ensuring that we can bring this issue behind us so that Kenyans can also have proper and full closure. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Wow. Donya. We are coming this.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Speaker. As we continue mourning our hero, we've seen many funerals and we learned so many things. Donya standing here, I can say for General Ogolla's burial and the funeral ceremony, we didn't witness women fighting, children coming on board. He led us. He has taught us. We give him a heckle, Mr. Speaker, for his behaved way that now everybody is having an appetite for his moral ways in the family. Thank you.
Yes, member for Endebess.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. First and foremost, for letting this House honor our fallen heroes, Chief of the General Defense Forces, General Ogolla, and the other 9 members who died in an aircraft in West Pokot. Honorable Speaker, it's a sad day for our country, and we want to say pole to the family, pole to all those people who General Ogolla made a difference in their life, especially our most disciplined forces, the Kenya Defense Forces, who have excelled in many of the peace missions within the region and even far away. Honorable Speaker, issues of cattle rustling in which he was following up are very emotive issues, and we hope that the government will deal with it once and for all.
Honorable members, we've done a full hour. Allow me to truncate the debate here and call the majority leader as the last speaker on this. Bear with us. There is a motion by Roida tomorrow to do with the army as well. Please be available to make. Rosa, you've just come in. The people have been here all this time. They have not gotten their space. Majority leader.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. And Honorable Speaker, allow me to join the House in condoling with the family of General Ogolla and all the other 9 gallant officers, including the pilot, Major Magondu, who lost their lives in the tragic crash last week on Thursday. Honorable Speaker, you remember when it happened, it was Honorable Millie Odhiambo who drew attention of the House to that tragic loss and the crash on Thursday evening, and it was not yet clear at that time what had exactly happened, just as it is not clear yet what exactly led to that crash. Honorable Speaker, I want to say, as the President committed during the funeral of General Ogolla last Sunday, that the government of Kenya and indeed the Kenya Defense Forces have already set up a team to investigate the circumstances that led to that accident, that very unfortunate accident. Honorable Speaker, I can only join the President to reassure the House and the country that the Defense Forces will ensure, as they have always done, in a very professional way, embark, as they have already done, on investigations to ascertain exactly what led to that unfortunate accident, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, this also offers the country an opportunity, and it's good that you gave us this opportunity not only to mourn our departed colleagues and great countrymen, but also afford this House the opportunity to reconsider, and I hope the chair of the Defense and Foreign Relations Committee is listening, that at times the military does come before the House looking for resources to modernize equipment. And I've had many members during the budget making process criticize without knowledge the modernization of military equipment. And Honorable Speaker, probably this now offers that opportunity, that as we consider the next few years' budgets, this coming financial year and the next years, to consider, seriously consider modernization of all our military equipment, including the aircrafts that we use, not just in the military, but also in the police, including, Honorable Speaker, the presidential jet, the jet that Honorable Speaker was saying the presidential jet, you remember, was purchased in the early 80s or late 80s by former President Daniel Arap Moi. And probably this offers that opportunity now to reconsider all this equipment, be it aircraft and other military equipment, Honorable Speaker, towards modernizing them to the modern equipment that is safe and good for use, not just by the military, but also other government officers. Honorable Speaker, as we remember General Ogolla and the other 9 gallant officers, Honorable Speaker, let us also remember their families, to pray for those families, and also, Honorable Speaker, to remember that all these military officers give their lives to protect all of us to live in a peaceful and secure country. And we must, as we mourn them and remember the families that they have left behind, Honorable Speaker, and I must commend the Kenya Defence Forces because we have seen the support that they have extended not just to General Ogolla's family, but to the families of other officers who lost their lives and others, Honorable Speaker, that I know who had lost their lives earlier in accidents like the one that was there in Gong, and the military and the Kenya Defence Forces continue to offer very good support to those families. And also ask the House, Honorable Speaker, to also consider more budgetary allocations to the military to even be able to offer better.
Thank you, honorable members. We'll end here, and I want to echo what one of you said. Members of this House and leaders from the counties and constituencies in the North Rift, Elgeyo Marakwet, West Pokot, Baringo, Laikipia, Samburu, Turkana, and others. Please sit and talk peace. If we did not have peace challenges in those regions, the general would not have gone there to help construct special schools under special circumstances. Get together, talk peace, embrace peace. You are the leaders. The people who are fighting and raiding and killing each other are the people you lead. Take a moment of your time. Those young people wielding Kalashnikovs and G3s are our boys. Get down there and talk to them. Take them to school, reform them. Give them alternative activities other than wrestling and killing each other. We'll still be having General Ogolla. We'll still be having the 9 other officers. The leadership must start from this House. If you want to amend the law to give an opportunity for you to spend part of your CDF on security issues, so be it, so that you can change the situation. Let's go back to the normal order. Before we call out the next order, allow me to recognize in the public gallery Syokimau East SDA Church Pathfinder Club from Mavoko, Machakos,